You started filming it? Yeah, I thought you did this with us.
I know.
Yeah.
Damn, he sees right through me.
You can't.
I know your tactic.
I don't need it because I know you guys so well.
Right, okay.
You
Georgie, I've not met before.
No,
Hello.
hi.
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you.
So, first question I have to ask.
Yes.
How long have you been rehearsing then?
A week.
a week.
A week.
Yeah.
And has Alex got naked yet? Because that's his
No.
We've
trademark.
discussed it.
We have
We have
discussed
actually
it.
just
It
yeah.
has come up in
I
conversation.
might be
So,
taking my kit
maybe
off.
this
So
week?
He can't
book
have
tickets
it.
or
You
don't book
need
tickets
it.
for that reason. Who
Spoiler
knows?
alert.
Spoiler. I mean, James has probably seen it before. You worked together many times.
Many times, yeah.
Many times.
I've spared Georgie that so far, but hey, we've got time.
Yeah, 2 weeks left of rehearsals, so.
He will definitely get it out.
Okay, well, we're all sharing a changing room, so.
This is top quality content for the internet. I'm so thrilled.
Just space.
It's a small thing.
It's a very small space, yeah.
It's a small space for a small thing.
So we're here rehearsing Tick Tick Boom.
We are.
Boom.
Shake, shake, shake the room.
Yeah, man.
Tell me about the show for anybody who doesn't know it.
Why are you looking at me? So, Titty Boom is a snapshot of a week in the life of Jonathan Larson, the creator of Rent. And as he approaches his 30th birthday, he's kind of having a bit of a nervous breakdown about all the things he hasn't achieved in his life that he thought he would by the time he was 30. He's having problems in his relationship with the lovely Susan. His best friend Michael is away on business and is moving out a lot 'cause he's just bought an apartment. He's workshopping a new musical he's written that isn't Rent. It's called Superbia, but it might be Rent. And he's basically on the verge of an existential crisis about turning 30 in 1990. And that's where we start. We start in January 1990 on a Saturday night in John's apartment that's starting to take shape. We've got a
Lovely
lovely
couch
blue
now.
sofa now. And yeah, it kind of charts the ups and downs of his anxiety and how he deals with it or doesn't deal with it in some situations.
And none of you were actually born in 1990, were you?
I nearly was. I
Well,
was 89.
just about.
Yeah.
On the cusp.
Yeah.
So that's fun then. What's that like going back to that era?
Oh, the 90s were great. I love
Mm.
the 90s. The fashion from the 90s.
Yeah, particularly the fashion.
Great.
It's great, yeah.
So good.
I think I'm wearing like a Chandler Bing style.
Yeah,
jumper
it's
for
very
most of the
Friends.
time.
Oh my god, it's so
Very
Friends.
Friends,
yeah.
Love it.
Oh, we've got the sofa now.
Yeah, we've got the sofa. Just need a coffee shop now.
So you guys, did you know this show before? Had you ever seen it?
Never seen it. No,
No.
listened to it quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, never seen a production of it.
I feel like it's very rarely done, actually.
It
I think
is, yeah.
I imagine the go-to with Jonathan Larson is Rent, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's certainly the most commonly known one. So I think maybe this one falls under the radar sometimes. But it's a fascinating piece.
It's really.
So
it's-
good.
it started as like a rock monologue that John performed himself before his death, and was kind of about all his frustrations about writing Rent and the constant rejections and the constant workshopping along the way with Rent. This kind of came out of it, and then it was adapted after his death to be, pardon me, like a three-hander show rather than just himself, which is kind of where we're at now with it, putting it on at the Bridge House in London.
Yeah, let's talk about this place. Have any of you been here before? or
Never.
I haven't, no.
Never been to this part of London before.
Never crossed the river.
I'm very lucky because I actually live around the corner,
Oh,
Else you did.
about 2 minutes away. So
I remember.
this is my local as
Oh.
such. I've never seen a show here, ashamedly, but I have been here a lot.
Just for a joke.
Yeah, and things
Is
like
that
that.
good
Also,
for you?
I've had auditions in here as well, so I knew of it very well. But yeah.
It's as the space goes, we're only like a week in. You can't hide.
No.
You can.
Mm.
It's. I mean, they're that close, and you're going, oh, there was. But I need to be on my shit because.
But it really suits the piece, though.
Really does.
yeah, yeah,
Because the
definitely.
piece is very raw and very. It is very up close to the piece, anyway.
And claustrophobic.
Mm.
That kind of sense of impending doom within his head playing out around him. This space already gives it that kind of very claustrophobic feel, which we're hoping will work.
Yes, so you're 26, 27
I
now?
remember 26.
26. So you're a few
1993.
years off that experience.
Milestone. Yeah.
That's what we called it.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas I'm back on it. I've literally just turned 30, so I'm so with John at the moment. Where
Oh,
he
yeah.
is. Yeah, totally.
Do those themes resonate?
Yeah, and I think that's the joy of the piece as well. I think audience who comes to see it will identify themselves in it at some point. I think because we all go through those when we hit a certain milestone. We do certain questions always come up, don't they, about the choices we make and which avenues to go down. What's more important? Is it security? Is it doing what you love? And it's a very not just with actors. I think it's with everyone. You constantly ask yourself those questions, and this show kind of puts a magnifying glass on that.
I think like there are so many lines in it as well that it was set in 1990, but it was then rewritten around 2000, and now we're doing it in 2019. Yet the themes are still the same.
Yeah.
Like there's, what I'm talking about, the state of affairs even politically and around the world. It's a time of things being very conservative and complacent and unimaginative is one thing he said, and that's what it's feeling in 1990 compared to now. The parallels are the same. And there's some lyrics in Georgie's song about love becomes disposable, and with the speed of dating apps and the speed of all of that, how use your words, Alex, what you're trying to say. The themes that have been written about nearly 30 years ago, when this was kind of like based around the human condition hasn't changed at all, just the technology around it has, which I think people will get. At least I got when we read it. I was going, oh, that hits close to home, doesn't it? Good.
Yeah. It could have been written about now. It's, yeah. Very relatable.
And the music's fucking awesome. So.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes, you must have all seen and heard Rent.
Oh my god, yeah. Love
Grew up to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yes, it was one of those just constantly on in my house listening to it, which is weird because I don't necessarily see myself in those sorts of shows, but I loved it when it came out. I loved listening to it, and the film as well. I watched it the other day actually. It gave me a good excuse to watch the film with me.
Yeah.
You forget how good that film is. I loved it.
So good.
Yeah.
And you can hear his you can hear him in Tick Tick Boom trying out stuff for Rent. You can hear what these ideas that he was playing with became when Rent came along. It's almost like sometimes Tick Tick Boom's all the songs that didn't make it into Rent. But I think some of them are better. I love it.
Have you got any favourites from the show yet?
I love the finale. I love Louder Than Words. Like lyrically, I think it's so relevant. What does it take to wake up a generation? Like, why does it take catastrophe to start a revolution? These things are like, why do we stay with lovers who we know down deep just aren't right? Why would we rather put ourselves through hell than sleep alone at night? That's what we do. That's as people, as creatures of habit. It's brilliant. I love it, and the harmonies sound cool. So
I'm very impressed. You know your lyrics already.
well, some of them. Text not so much. Hey, but we've got 2 weeks.
So let's talk about you guys. So did you meet for the first time last week?
We did.
I mean, you boys know each other already.
Yes.
So you worked together on Titanic, isn't it?
Titanic, yeah.
Stay
First
on,
time,
Captain.
Yeah. We've done a few gigs and things.
Can't shake him off.
No, I'm like that
We've
smell.
got another
that
one
won't go
booked in
away.
actually. In November, we're doing another concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it been like you trying to integrate this romance?
Horrendous.
It's been great. It's been really great. Yeah. I mean, we've only had a week, but it's been a lot
We're
of fun
having a laugh,
already.
so
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
She's got to, haven't you?
Yeah.
But I mean, we have our
It's our
mascot. This is our
mascot.
fourth
Is
company
this your
member.
mascot?
Fabio
Is
the
this
Fish.
an actual prop from the show?
Well, you'll have to buy
You'll have to
it.
come and find out, won't you, Phil?
You never know. Might make it in.
We
Might
hope so.
hoping.
I've only just noticed he's got a circle.
Or is this your understudy?
Oh yeah,
This is the
our
swing. Fabio the Fish. Yeah. Very good.
So let's talk about your director.
Alright.
Guy.
Yes.
As he's
The Oracle. As he's got here.
He might be listening in at the door.
Yeah.
He's fantastic, isn't he?
He's
Absolutely
a
amazing.
legend. An absolute legend is the word I'm going to use. And for
Legend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk in now.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to dissect text in the way he does it, and the way for him to like to challenge you as an actor. I mean, the piece is already challenging enough, isn't it? But to like really make you think and go to places that you would never go yourself. Again, only in week one. It's amazing. It's such a breath of fresh air to, without sounding like conceited about it, be an actor. Like, discover things, find things, and have license to fuck up, to try that. Okay, well, that didn't work, do something else. He creates such an ease in a rehearsal room that on a piece like this, when there is only 3 of you and you're in a room where you're this close, where it's so exposing, puts you so at ease to just be and create and play.
You feel an ownership over it then as well. When you work on the scene and then you get it to a place where you're just running it and seeing how you really feel like you've created it yourself. You know, although it's a team thing, he puts you in that state of, well, somehow I managed to feel like I really own that.
Yeah.
It feels very, very natural. Yeah, he pushes you, which is great.
And like him and Rob, producer, are such fans of the show as well. Like they love it, and that enthusiasm for the piece is just infectious, I think. So I hope people feel that. I think when they see it. Okay.
And tell me about your MD.
Oh, he's all right. He's sat over there.
Very handsome.
Yeah,
I don't know where he is.
I don't know.
You could invite him to shop if you wanted. Yeah.
Jamie, come on.
Come on.
Anyway,
Come on in.
It's far too up there. I've got to get
He's great too.
And he's fit. He's not single. Sorry, Nate.
That's it. Just describe me.
He's wearing a lovely brown boot.
Just be a voice.
It's also a really good update.
No, excellent.
So what can you tell an audience if they have no expectations? What do you hope they'd go away with after they've seen the show?
A hangover?
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Come back to me. The other week's like goodbye.
I think it gives a little insight into Jonathan Larson,
Yeah.
which is nice, and the
Yeah.
state that he was in when Rent was being created. If they're fans of Rent, if they don't know Rent, and I think it's another example of that point when you hit your 30s, you know, and even if people come sit and they're not 30 yet, then I think it just gives them a little snapshot of what it could be like
Yeah.
venturing into that unknown world of that milestone. But it's certainly when we first read it, I identified with him straight away. Absolutely. But it's those classic questions that come up all the time. Basically, what am I doing with my life? When you hit that. So I went through it and said, I didn't cope well. I'm telling you now. And you do go, actually, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Anyone? Yeah? No? Okay. Just means that I went through it. And it's, hey, there's a musical about it, so this could be the musical of my life. Like, who knows?
I think there's something
Tick,
as
tick,
well.
Hume.
Tick tick Hume.
Knew it.
Starring Fabio the Fish.
Hashtag.
Tick tick Hume. There's a hashtag.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's something in as well. I can't do it.
God. It's Monday morning.
That's it, the rest of the week.
Go on, say it. Say something
No,
profound.
it wasn't like profound, just something to say.
Yeah.
I think there's something in the fact that, you know, there's an impending sense of watching John's life, knowing that he's turning 30, in 5 years' time he's dead. And
Yeah.
there's something about the time you waste worrying. Like, worrying is like a rocking chair, it gives you something to do but you don't get anywhere. And it puts things into perspective of, you know what happens to him after this, and you know you never see the success of the thing he's struggling to write, and so there's something in that for me that is so tragic, but because you want it to work out with Susan, you want him to spend that time with Michael whilst he can, you want him to, because you're like, dude,
You're running out of time.
you are running out of time, but of course you don't know that in the moment. But of course, it feels like time's running away with you. It's that ebb and flow of security versus freedom. What do you need most? And at the end of the day, none of it matters because we're all going to die. Morbid.
Yes. But on a serious note.
It's true though,
Yeah, sure.
Seize the day.
But you talked about with me your own anxieties. Has this show for you in the rehearsal process been quite cathartic, or?
No, it's far too close to home, and
Really?
I'm destroying myself doing it. You know what? Yes, it's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sat here going into week 2 going, I am terrified yet elated to be playing this role, because I feel like in many respects it's no acting required.
Yeah.
Because I told the mates, like, oh, I'm doing Tit Tit Boom, and they were like, oh God, good luck. But because they get it. I am kind of a wired, off the wall, can't focus on one thing kind of person. But it's fun. It's hard. It's a lot of text. It's a lot of songs. The actual literal thing of it, it's hard. But then those kind of things as well. Yeah.
Well, Georgie, tell me more about your character
Mm-hmm.
and how she fits into the story.
So Susan and John have been going out for about 2 years. Susan's a dancer. She also lives in New York, but she kind of wants to take the more kind of settle down route. She wants them to kind of move to the next stage, and is hoping for their relationship. And yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but
That's where we begin.
that's where we begin
Are
our
there
story.
elements to that you relate to?
I definitely, as well as these guys, I feel like I really relate to John.
Yeah.
And I feel like there is that, as an actor, everyone relates to him, but there is that thing constantly of, do I risk it all, or do I settle down and make roots and have a family and all that? It's a constant thing
Yeah.
there in your head that you're constantly reminded of every day, by people that are doing those things and are starting to settle down. And so yeah, I feel like I definitely relate more to John, but I can understand what Susan's going through. So yeah, it's nice to try and see things from a different perspective. Yeah.
And tell me about Michael.
Michael is John's best friend who they lived together, although Michael is about to move out. They lived together and they were fellow struggling artists together. Michael made the decision to leave that world and go into a corporate American world, which was a lot more secure and higher paid, and gave him a nicer life, if you will, in terms of materialistically. So he has a nice apartment, nice car, and things like that. And I suppose he's gone the other way. So when we're facing with that crossroads of, do I carry on doing the struggling artist life, or do I carry on? Do I go for a more secure life with money and family and whatever that comes with it? He's gone that way, and I think it's a very interesting development between the two about what defines success, I suppose, and how we define ourselves, what we define success to be.
I guess it's
the joy that Georgie and I have as well is that we, in the show, we multi-role. So not only do we play Michael and Susan, we basically double up as everybody else. We create the ensemble
Lots of fun.
as well, which is, as actors, is always lovely as well.
I can't wait to do the diner scene.
Exactly, which we're doing today. So we have that joy of playing these absolutely well-rounded and really important characters to John's story, but also we've got the task of creating the world around John as well, which is, I love doing so much. So it's exciting. Very, very exposing and very tough and very, challenging, but also you can't really ask for anything else in that opportunity.
And is it nice to be back in London for you?
Yes. It is, yes. Well, we all know, Edinburgh's a bubble.
Yeah.
Edinburgh's, I feel like a season regular on the show now.
Yeah.
But it is a bubble, and whilst you're there, it's there, and sometimes you just need to actually just need a break from that. So yeah, it's lovely. Lovely to be back.
Back in your own bed.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
We're going to
Thanks
let
for
you get
coming
on with your
Straight.
rehearsals.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
When are you coming? Have you booked?
Last night.
Are you?
Lovely.
Oh,
We'll know it by then.
Well, you might.
Well, we hope. If not, Fabio will be on.
I might come more than once. I love this show.
Good.
I've seen it a few times.
You will come more than once because you'll love it the first time.
But I've been through that, yeah, I'm 37, so
Then you know.
I could have wrote the book myself. Good luck, Ray.
Thank you.
Stop the clock. Take time out. Time to regroup before you lose the bound. Freeze the frame. Back it up. Time to refocus before they wrap it up. Years are getting shorter, lines on your face are getting longer. Feels like you're treading water, but the riptide's getting stronger. Don't panic, don't jump ship, can't fight it like taxes. At least it happens only once in your life. They're singing happy birthday, I just wish it were all a dream. It feels much more like doomsday. Fuck 3090, seems like I'm in for a twister. I don't see a rainbow, do you? Turn 30 in the 90s. Into my hands now, the ball is passed. I want the spoils, but not too fast. The world is calling, it's now or never land. Why can't I stay a child forever? And 3090, 3090, 3090, 3090, 3090, 30, 3090. What can I do? 3090, 30, 3090. What can I do?
Oh God, I got that.